Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. Would you ever get a new product in your craft stash and you just think, I need to make a project around that product? Well, this was the case for me. I got some gold texture paste and I really wanted to make a project featuring this. Now, the amount of gold texture paste I've actually used on the card, I think I'm going to probably still be using this in my 90s, but never mind, here goes. Anyway, this is the card I'm making. You can see the gorgeous texture paste all around there. So I've sort of tried to create that controlled splat effect just by using a circle embossing folder. Absolutely gorgeous. And these lovely little white flowers. It really is a lot of white with just this sort of bronzy gold. It's really pretty. Again, another really simple one to make. And I love how I've mixed the paper and the vellum flowers on here. And I'm going to talk to you about melded dyes for here because they are really useful. So, let's have a look at how I made this card. This card started because I got some new shimmer paste. Look at the creaminess and texture. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? As it says on there, it's Cosmic Shimmer texture paste. It is in royal gold. It's got quite a lot of bronzy, brassy tones to it. But I wanted to make a project using this. It's really lovely and smooth. It's not like your white texture pastes that are often quite grainy. Lovely and smooth. So I got myself a piece of white card. It's just regular multi-purpose card and it's 4 inches by 6 inches, and I've got myself a pre-made card base in 5x7. I'm trying to really hard to do what I preach, and I'm using up some of my existing card bases, so I've got that in there. So the first thing I need to do is to use some of the texture paste onto here. Now I'm not going to be using a great deal at all, just a little hint of it. So let's get a match just in case it blobs off. So put that onto here, and I'm going to get my texture paste. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I don't need much. And I had a look. I wanted something with not, with a reasonably small detail. So I thought I would use some of these small holes on here. So I'm going to pop that onto there. I'm going to grab the tiny smallest bit of texture paste, and I'm just going to go through a couple of these holes, just like that. Just put a little bit of texture paste on there, lift that up. Then I thought we could come round over this side, and I could just use a few. I'm trying to avoid some of the larger holes because that would be too big. If you had something with a small detail in, that would work too. So we can put that in there, just like that. And let's put a couple more bits down here, using the existing bit. This is so creamy, isn't it? A gorgeous texture paste. Absolutely love this. It is so easy to work with, so creamy. And let's do that one there. This is just rough area because I'm going to be putting a lot more detail in that corner. So I'm just sort of putting this elsewhere. And there we go. That's all I'm going to do. Let's just scrape that off there. Scrape that. There we go. And I'll get the gold off there. That's all the texture paste. If I'm going to use just that little amount of texture paste, I think that bottle of texture paste is going to see me through my crafty journey, don't you? That was hardly even made a mark in it. So I'm going to then put it into my lovely little paint booth. So I'm catching all those bits. And then I'm going to get some of my watercolor shimmers. These, I love doing these, and I've actually got some new ones which I will get out. They're not unpacked yet from coming back from the NEC, and I can't wait to have a go with those. So let's get a brush, pop it over these golds. Don't worry about making them too runny because it just all absorbs back in. So we've got some nice colour there, and then I can just have a little splat all over. How easy is that? Again, I've hardly used any paint whatsoever. We're using the minimal. So all I need to do now is leave that to dry. Now, it won't take long. If you want to give it a little bit of extra help with a heat gun, go for it. Otherwise, this is one that I put together about half an hour ago. Let me just move that out of the way. And that's what we've got. So I thought, right, let's find the rest of my card. So my card, I've taken, as I said, my 5x7, and I've put a little bit of Centura pearl on there. And then I've cut, so if that was 4 by 6, this is not quite 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. It's just under, about 3/16 of an inch bigger. And I'm going to put the white onto the white. But before I do that, I'm going to get some thread. Now I'm trying to keep my gold roughly the same, so you can see that's quite bronzy. It was just about finding golds that were all of a similar. There's so many, you think gold is gold, isn't it? But it really isn't. There are so many different shades of gold. So take that off. I love this thread. I don't know where it's from. I've had it. It's one I carry around in my craft tote a lot. Let's go. Let's do 3. I like 3. You could cut it off, but that's so small. I can't actually see the point in cutting off at the back. Oh, yeah. Because by the time you've cut it off to there, you've only saved that much. Put that there. So what you could do then, I sometimes do, get another piece of red liner. The red liner should hold that, but I always belt and braces, put red liner over the red liner, and you know that's not coming off at all. So that now is going to go on to here. So I'm not going to take that red liner off. I'm just going to grab my PVA glue. Actually, I might take that off because it's going to help, isn't it? That's so thin, I don't need to do it with foam tape. If it was, look at that, the glue's gone over. If it was a thicker fibre, then I'd probably have to put foam tape on the back of here to sort of level out the levels. But I don't need to, not with this. And you can see I've not done anything exact. These ones are much closer together than at that end. I wanted it just to be quite natural. There we go. And then those with my foam tape. There we are. And then I swap over to my PVA glue. And I can just put my PVA glue on the back of there. There we are. Just to give me the wriggle room I need. There we are. Move those out of the way. Bring my card back in. I don't need to worry about which way up it's going because it's obviously going the same way. And then we can put that on there. Isn't that looking lovely? Really, really nice. Now, the next thing I wanted to do was I found these flower stamps. They were from Fleur, so they're from a good few years ago. And this is what we call a melded die. This is what we used to call it. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. So there's going to be about 30 flowers on there. And it's one die, but it's going to cut out 30 separate flowers. So what I thought I would do is I'd cut them out of paper and vellum at the same time. Now, vellum will sometimes crack when you emboss it or you die cut it. But if you put vellum on with cardstock, like I'm doing here, then the paper cushions the vellum. So I did a card recently where I showed you how to emboss vellum. If ever you're struggling, always just put cardstock with it as well, or paper. And, you know, it can be as thin as a copy of paper, but I've got some 220 paper there and my vellum, and it's going to cut through both of those without any problems whatsoever. So let's cut that. There we go. So that will have cut all the way through both layers. Look at that, straight through. Look at that coming off. I'm just going to get a foam mat. Right, so these are double layered at the moment, but that's fine. So let's put those out. Now some of them, see, they all come straight out of the die. Some of them have started to separate off, and some of them will remain double. So that's that one that's separated off. So let's just poke those out. Now look at that. If I take the vellum off, I've got a lovely stencil. If you wanted to use this as your stencil, that would work so well, because then it would match the flowers that you were using. So that's another idea if you wanted it to. Look at that. That would make a lovely. I've got stencils with less detail on than that. So we've got these here. Like I say, some of them are still together like that one. And then you can just separate them. Now, actually, and this one's still together. So often what I'll do is I'll shape them like that. And that then causes them to separate. So you can then just normally, there we go, pull them apart Just like that. There we go. So I like this. I'm not going to use all of these by any means. So I've got vellum ones. I've got paper ones. Oh, that's paper and vellum. Give it a good burnish and then they should part ways. Often if you've got 2 layers die cut and you're struggling, always just go through with ball tool and that'll separate it. So just go through and shape as many or as few. Now the vellum will crack if you're too heavy-handed with it, so you just need to be careful. And then all I'm going to do is, I've got a pin flare pearl wand, give it a little shake, and I'm just going to pop a little bit in the centre of each one, just like that. There we go, just in the centre. You might have tonic, you might have cadence. They're the ones I know the most. I'm sure there's lots of other brands, but you just find, or if you haven't got these, you could use just a pearl. A little bit of glue and a little pearl in the centre of there would look lovely. But you do need to, like, you've got 2 choices. You either put the pearls in like that and then leave them to dry, or you attach them to the card and then you put the pearls in. So here are some in true Blue Peter style that I made earlier. Now I think, yeah, they're starting to skin over, but they're not properly hardened. Now if I bring my card in and I start putting these onto here, oh, that's a double one, that's still layered. Now if I don't separate these, yeah, that's going to happen. There we go, look, that's one I missed. All right, never mind. If I put them onto here, then they're going to get lost a little bit. You can see, just onto there. So what I thought I would do is, I found one of my sort of background dies. So I've got this one, like fretwork, which is really lovely. I love these. And I cut it out. So you can see, I cut it out from, oh, I can't even remember which way around it went now. It went that way, didn't it? Like from there. You can see I cut it out from there. And then I've just cut this piece off because it was too big. Because what I want to do is I want to pop it onto this side of my card base. So when I had it like here, it was a bit too regimented. So this way, it sort of now follows that arc that I wanted. So let's stick that on with some 3D glue. Don't worry about it showing, because what we're going to do is we're going to put some flowers over, so it's going to be hidden. Put that on there like that. And then I'm just going to get some flowers and I'm just going to pop them on. So let's do a nice cluster. I've got a bit of glue there. Even though it's white on white, it still seems to show up really well, doesn't it? So let's just put a little bit. I'm thinking, is it going to be easier? Would it be easier to glue onto the background? No, because I don't know where I want the flowers to go, so I'm not going to do that. Right, so there's 3 of those. Let's put a couple of vellum ones. I do like the vellum, giving me that opaque look. Really, really works. Now this is one time, oops, when I'm not going to be putting leaves on. And I know I always say you must put leaves on to make it realistic, but this is more of an arty look than a realistic look. What am I doing with my tweezers? I think I'm not holding them right. Let's come up here. Let's do some smaller ones. This is so fine. I'm accidentally squeezing them off. Aren't they pretty? So pretty. Let's go. So this could take a minute, so I might stop talking and speed this up a little bit for you. Otherwise it could take a while. Okay, so I've got to that, and what I love is I've sort of used the shape of here. So instead of doing a traditional swag, I've just used the shape of my die cut. So that's really lovely, isn't it? You don't need any bows on this bit because of the shape. So I got a couple of sentiment bits out and I matted them onto the gold. So I've got enjoy today and be happy. So I think I'm going to put them roughly like that. Again, like I say, I never know how these are going to go until I put them together, because you never know where your ink splats are going to be, where everything's going to sit. So, you know, you have to sort of wait. There we go. I think I know what's wrong with my tweezers. I think I've got glue on my tweezers. So, yeah, I think I need to clean my tweezers off. I'm just going to see whether... Yes, I might do that one there. Might just put a little flower just at the side of that one. And then I've got a vellum one. Now that's one of my new vellum ones, so it's still a bit wet. Yes, there's definitely glue on my tweezers. And let's just put that one. Sorry about my hand being in the way. There, that'll do. So let's move those out of the way, so we're not distracting. There we are. And that is my card finished. Again, something a little bit different. And again, all from scrappy bits. So yeah, these were just scrappy bits of white card that I've been able to cut these bits out of. You know, a piece of 4x6. So really nothing overly big. And then we've just added on little bits as we've gone to create this card. But as I said, the main thing was to have a play with my gold texture paste. I am really, really loving that. There we go. What do you think? Something a little bit different, quite random, quite, you know, and you never know where it's going to go until, you know, you put it together. But I hope that inspires you. If you haven't had a go, how many of these sorts of melded flower dies, so many brands have done these sorts of dies. Have you got something like this where you get lots of smaller flowers, not the big flowers, just the little ones? Have a go. Try and get that white on white with just that little pop of colour. Really enjoyed that. I hope you like that. I'm really pleased with how that's come out. I just want to do one more little beg. Don't forget, down in my description is my buy me a coffee link. Anything you can help to support this channel would be much appreciated. It really, really would. But until next time, I'm going to put a link on this side to a video and a link on this side to my subscribe. Every thumbs up that you are able to do really does help with the reach of my channel. So thank you very much. And until next time, you take care, and I'll be back with another video. But what will it be next time? You take care. Bye for now.